Hi, in today's video I'm going to build and test a couple of batteries, and I also want to have some fun. So what I've done is I've changed a bunch of different parameters. Here's what I've changed. First of all, it's still a sugar carbon, but I've changed the kind of sugar I'm using. I've been using cane sugar, and for these batteries I'm using dextrose or corn sugar. I've been using salt and urea. For these batteries, I didn't use urea. I used baking soda. For the last batch of batteries, I used copy paper. When I actually build these, I'm going to be using going back to tracing paper. I think that worked a little bit better. I'll still be using 1 molar salt as the electrolyte. And just to remind you, in the past, when I cooked it for 3 minutes 43 seconds, then my best result was just shy of 7 minutes. When I cooked it for 13 minutes, my best results were just shy of 8 minutes. These, I cooked the mixtures for 7 minutes 777 seconds, or 8 minutes and 17 seconds. I've already made the inks and the electrodes. I just haven't put them together into the batteries. So here's where we get fun. First of all, I want you to guess, did I get a foaming action, or was it just a burned powder? Second, how long will each of these batteries go? I have two mixtures. I have a mixture that I'll call 4 and a mixture that I'll call 8. The 4 mixture is 4 grams of dextrose, 1 gram of baking soda, 4-to-1 mixture, 5 grams of salt as a microwave enhancer susceptor, and 2 grams of graphite, which I think is the real microwave kicker. For the 8 mixture, I have 8 grams of dextrose, 2 grams of baking soda, no salt, and still the 2 grams of graphite. So what do you think? Did I get a foam, or did I just get flat burned powder, carbon powder? Leave your guesses in the answers below, and then also leave your guesses as to how long each of these batteries will power the little motor. I will tell you right up front that I think it's going to be better than anything I've done, and I'll be telling you why. But we'll see. We'll see. So put your guesses down. Pause the video right now and put your guesses down below, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so here's why I made the choices that I did. I chose the dextrose over the cane sugar, over the standard table sugar, because of a comment that Kev made on Tim's video, that dextrose worked a lot better, so I wanted to try it. I chose the baking soda instead of the urea, because baking soda, when it heats up, releases a gas. It releases carbon dioxide. Urea releases nitrogen. But I saw some videos on YouTube that looked really interesting. And I've never heard of people using baking soda in their batteries, in their carbon formation, but maybe it's common. I just haven't heard of it. And the formulations, it's a sodium bicarbonate. It's a good formulation. But what I saw is these videos about sugar snakes, and you can look them up on YouTube. People put 90% rubbing alcohol in some sand, and then on top of that they put a little pile of 4-to-1 mixture of sugar. In their case, normally it's just granulated cane sugar, but they put a 4-to-1 mixture of sugar with baking soda. And what they get when they light the lighter fluid, the rubbing alcohol, is that they get this snake, like a 4th of July snake, of carbon. And so I thought, hey, this looks good. It's extremely lightweight. It's good. It's a readily available material. I want to give it a try. So that's why I tried the baking soda. Now, I've made the stuff. I'm going to show you now what happened. It turns out that I did get a foaming action from both of them, but especially from the 8 grams. So now I'm going to show you what I got, and then I'll be back and talk more. So this is what greeted me when I opened up the microwave oven. The cup with 8 grams of sugar was crazy. It overflowed in terms of when it made the foam. The cup with 4 grams of sugar kept it within the cup, although it also had the salt. When I opened up the cups, I saw that the cup with 8 grams of sugar actually had a big gaping hole that the foam had collapsed in on itself. Amazing light foam though, so I am really looking forward to doing that and seeing what happens. However, it got so hot because of the foam that even the silicon rubber, look at that, the silicon rubber melted, which is pretty crazy. The 4 grams of sugar, however, with the salt, didn't do much of anything. I mean, it's way down there at the bottom. It has a little bit of expansion, and I'm still going to try it, because maybe at a small level, at a nanoscale, if you will, it still has the carbon dioxide formation and still has the foam. So we'll see the next steps. The next step is to take this and to put it into, grind it up, and put it into the coffee machine to filter it. Here is what the 4-gram mixture with 5 grams of salt looks like before grinding. So it did have some foaming action, just not as much. And it'll be interesting to see which one performs better as a battery. Okay, so in cooking the mixtures, I went from 8 grams to 3.6 grams. Now, because of the overflow and the different ways, I did have to discard some of the material. After filtering, that went down to 2 grams. The 4-gram mixture went to, it had 5 grams of salt, remember. It went to 7.5 grams after cooking, and that, after filtering, went down to 2.4 grams. In terms of the active material that went on these, when I measured them, they were, before adding the active material, they were a gram each. And I measured both individually and then 1.0 grams, and then I measured all 4 together. It came out as 4.0 grams. The 2-8 mixtures had 0.2 after drying of the active area, active material and the binder. The number 4 had 0.3 grams of active material and binder. So now I'm going to take these, and with my little tape method, I'm going to go ahead and make them into batteries and give them a test. Again, I'll be using the tracing paper and a 1 molar salt solution. So I'll be back in a bit. So I have told you at various times to only change one thing at a time, because then you know whether that thing has affected what you're trying to do. And of course, I was trying to leapfrog ahead and make multiple changes at the same time and get a leap ahead. Sometimes that works, most of the time it doesn't. And with science, the rigorous, slow, one change at a time is a better way of going. So again, do as I say, not as I do. I made a couple batteries for the 4 and for the 8. And I tested them using the tester, the same click way. Neither battery performed as well as what I've had in the past. And now I have to figure out why. The 8 battery basically was giving me about a 1 minute run on the motor. Its longest motor run was 1 minute 10 seconds. The 4 battery did better than the 8, which is interesting because the 8 was expanded more in a macro sense. The 4 was more compact. It had the salt as well as the baking soda. When you do cooking, I found out, that salt will counteract the baking soda expanding. And so it was actually a tighter situation. And the 4 performed better than the 8. The less expansion, actually, but it was probably better at a macro level, a nano level or whatever. Its best run was about 2 minutes 45 seconds, which is still much less than the runs that I've had before. And I don't know why. It could be the sugar, it could be the baking soda, it could be the lack of urea. It could be the length of time it was baked for. No, it couldn't be that because I was in the middle of the 2 times. So I don't know for sure, and I'm going to have to investigate. And that's where it gets fun. So it'll be interesting to see if any of you have chosen such small times expecting, nah, that's not going to work. That's all messed up. And if you chose that, congratulations, you were right. Wadsworth messed up again. And in the future, change one thing at a time. Thanks a lot, guys. Here we go, onward and upward.